Okay, welcome. This is a Rome series. Decided to make a series dedicated to the migratory tribes, tribes that migrate. So just waiting for the game to load up here. We see we got a tribe facing Rome. That's the Migratory Tribe. Got a quick sneak peek at me. So real quick, you guys know all of the nations you can play, none of which are migratory tribes. If we go to government type map mode, we can see the different government types and different colors. Migratory tribes are in dark green. So you can see they're throughout here, Central Asia. Some more here in this enormous isthmus between the seas, and Turkey and Bohemia there, Central Europe, and northern Germany and Scandinavia. But for our purposes, here to show you some dynamics of the migratory tribe. And so the dynamics I want to show are migration and really quick how you can convert religions relatively easily with migratory tribes. So we'll start with Xanthia. So you can see we're here with our boy Satyake Kadota. He's pretty good, 9779. Real quick, just to talk about what's important for the migratory tribe. I would say probably zeal, because zeal will help you with I believe stability. So we have the high heritage, which is Freeman Happiness, Horse Archer Offense, Migratory Tribe, Heptatic, monthly military experience, but we're going to switch that. And the high heritage, which is pretty good mix of everything basically except the heavy infantry. So we'll go to Iron Man mode. I don't plan to play all the way through for reasons I'll discuss later. But we should get into the game. So the last thing I'd like to note is you'll notice all these countries that are recommended border the Mediterranean, with the exception of the Seleucid Empire. And the Seleucid Empire, their strategic purpose, let's switch to this mode, was to reach the Mediterranean Sea, and they were always seeking to maintain a connection to the Mediterranean Sea, and that's so they could maintain their connection with the home country of Macedon. All these successor states sought to capture Macedon for prestige, but one of the main reasons was in order to get manpower for their phalanx-based armies. So, and Macedon and the Greek states held the majority of that manpower. So, for the Seleucids and the Ptolemies in Egypt, it was always a problem because they didn't have access to lots of Greeks and Macedonians. So, they sought to gain those. So, Egypt's strategic goal was to control the Levant and Cilicia, and that was mainly for wood for ships, because that's what they were missing, and also because they could attract Greeks, but they were looking for wood more or less. The Seleucids sought to gain territory here in Syria. So if you zoom in, and they established 4 cities. One inland and one on the coast. So the coastal city being the port for the inland city. So here at Antigonea, they eventually established Antioch. And then there was a coastal city. I think it's Seleucia Pera, I think. And then there was Apamea and another city that I'm forgetting the name. And those 4 cities, the reason why they founded those was to attract Greek settlers for their phalanx-based armies. So Imperator Rome's levy mechanics don't fairly represent that fact. But it's a game. It's not a historical simulation. So let's just get rolling. All right. So start up the game. We'll go to Xanthia. We're looking for our iron. Well, I don't have an iron, do I? What happened? Okay. It's no problem. Xanthia iron. All right. So you start out here. Quick nation overview. We got 17 territories. Our power base is 66. Total pops is 103. So we're not very big. We're not the smallest, but we're not very big. So the first thing I want to do is just do the trade. Just accept all trades, so I don't have to worry about it. And then for the provinces, let's just put all of these on auto trade. Okay. So, as a migratory tribe, the most important, I would say, factor is stability. You want stability because you need stability to migrate. And that becomes very important. So, the first thing we're going to do is go to laws, and this will illustrate why I chose Xanthia. So one of the reasons I chose Xanthia for this particular instance is because the migration, the centralization is low, right? You're lower your centralization, the easier it is to migrate. It costs less, you can see there, it costs less to migrate than higher. Additionally, you get access to a bunch of laws where you can enact and get different bonuses and benefits. But your centralization has to be low enough. So this is the one I want. It's at your centralization has to be at -30, but it gives you a monthly stability change of 0.15. And we're going to need that because we're constantly going to be fighting the stability bug. So there we go. And so we leave that. We want to maintain our PI. We're going to need that. But it's at -50%. Another reason to choose Xanthia is within the decisions, Xanthia can either unite the Dahai, let's zoom out, and zoom out, unite the Dahai, control those lands, or you can form Parthia. So this is, forming Parthia is an easy way to jump to monarchy. I think they're the only migratory tribe that can do it. Well, their culture group is the only one, the Scythian culture group. So that's one of the reasons I chose them, and you could always unite the Dahai, and that forms a federated tribe. So, now that we've gone through those basics, we'll go here, we'll check our ruler first, and see what he's doing. He is siphoning funds. And, you know, one thing I'd like to talk about, you can see he's got forgiving, so he loses some finesse, but he gets charisma and the monthly tyranny, and then he's a fleet commander. So I don't know how he got the skills to be a fleet commander. Maybe he's just born with it here in the desert oasis of Xanthia, but he's got it. One thing about Imperator Rome is when you're on a lake, you can't build a port at a port territory by a lake. So I've never known the Caspian Sea to be called a lake. Certainly it's not unusual. There are the Great Lakes in America, you know, and they're big. I don't know the size in relation to the Caspian. It's probably smaller. But nevertheless, you can't do it. And I don't know why Imperator decides to do that. Maybe it's because only ocean tiles you can build a port on the territory next to it. But we know that this day there's an oil pipeline that goes to here, and oil tankers actually ship through Caspian, through the Volga. They take a canal in Russia over to, I believe this is the Don, and then out into the world. And also it's known that Alexander sent one of his admirals through the Black Sea, through the Don, in order to search for a sea route out into the Caspian. So it's not as if they didn't try to use ships on the Caspian. And that individual actually portaged over into the Volga, and then got here and portaged over to the Aral Sea, and then sailed down all the way into Bactria. So, if anyone from Paradox is listening, I wish they would make it possible where you could build a port. Frankly, if you're by any piece of water, you should be able to build a port. Yeah. So they should just make it. And so what if you're by a small one-tile lake and you build a port? I don't think that's going to change the dynamics of the game. And historically, there shouldn't be any objections to building a port on the Caspian. You might say, well, they didn't have wood, or they didn't fight there. Yeah, but so what? Okay, so there's a bunch of things in the game that didn't happen historically, but the game is based on possibilities. And given the wood supplies in, the Caucasus Mountain area and the Alborz Mountain area, they could certainly have built triremes, which are not that large. Okay, so back to the Migratory Tribe. So we're here. So what do we want to do? Our objective is to migrate as soon as possible, and we are going to migrate and go and find a territory where we can convert to Judaism. So I got this idea from Barbarian Hunter. He talked about Jewish Prussia, which is definitely fascinating. And he tried to use Prussia to found Judaism. Really appreciate his work. He's fun to watch. I'll watch all his stuff. But I don't choose Prussia simply because if you go, you can see their pops are different cultures, makes it harder to migrate. And also they have less pops overall. So what are we going to do? The first thing we're going to do is we want to get rid of this little territory. It's just a bother, and we're leaving this place anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to form a migratory horde unit out of this area, and then release these guys as clients. And I'll show you why that makes sense. But before I do that, let's do the trade. You want vegetables, your move slave cost goes down. And then for the second one, just to get a bonus, let's go furs. People don't like furs, but furs give you experience decay bonus. And with our experience bonus from the heptatic religion, that means that this will go up faster. So now we go here and we're going to move what pops out of Artesia. So we'll start there, and I'll show you why in a second. So we're not going to depopulate it. We'll leave our client with some land. It's not a big deal. And then Balkan, we're going to move them all to Balkan. And the reason why is because Balkan, you can see here, it borders Ocean to Alba, Kaura, Kalana, and Sild. So since it borders 5 territories, it's easy for us to pull people in. Okay, so we'll pull the slaves first. They're cheaper. Okay, then pull from Ocean. Actually, we'll wait to pull from Ocean to Alba for a second. So we'll pull from Sild. Okay. Alright. So, and then pull from Kalana. So now that we've done that, we'll go and see how many pops we have. So we have 17. We can migrate now, but the largest migratory unit is 20. And so we might as well get it to 20 before we migrate. And plus, let's leave Balkan so it can actually be freed as a client. So now, we'll go here, and what we want to do is move from Kura. So And so that should get us way above the limit that we need. Yeah, we're at 23. So now we'll start migration. You can see it costs 6 to migrate. And you want to move these guys off of the desert tile because it causes attrition. And so now they've got 3 there, and Sild has 7. We're not going to waste our time with them. We're just going to release them as clients. One thing to note, okay, so our gold here, you can see our taxes, our total is 2.09. Taxes at 241. So let's release them as clients and see how that changes. So Sild and Parnia. So now they're released. Okay, so that won't change until the next month, but we can call down an omen. We've got various omens here. Commerce income, unintegrated culture, national. So we'll do the commerce income. It's not a big deal. And you can see here we're at 29. So to get this going faster, I'm going to do a sacrifice. We'll need the PI, but we really need the stability more. Okay. Alright, so now those guys are clients, and we can get started. Last thing to do is look at the mission, consult clan council, and click that. But before we get started, there's one more thing. So you have some freemen, some citizens in territories that aren't the capital. We want to concentrate everybody in the capital and then move. And one, you can't move citizens or freemen. So we're going to turn off slave promotion in all of the capital province, which is Dahia. You turn those off one by one. Now they won't promote. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're going to concentrate our pops in here, move all the slaves, create migratory units, and then slowly these citizens and freemen will demote. The other thing to do, because we're doing that, is to change this to social mobility. Yeah, we're spending PI. We're going to need that PI later. It's not a big deal. I'll move this capital here as well, Congo. Okay, so now we've got 12 to 22 here. We could create a unit, but let's move some pops here and concentrate moving on the slaves so that the others demote. Okay, and we can move from Sarek to, it's not a big deal, Ocean. There we go. So now we've got 20 of 22. So people won't migrate there if there's a high population. So eventually we'll want to move out, but we don't have enough gold to move. And there's some benefits in high population here. So now we're going. So sounding out the opposition. Debate has raged for many years over our rocky relationship with the nation states in Parthia. Pasuria, a nation many in Xanthia call a friend, stands well placed to provide us with assistance in our endeavors to control Parthia. Many of our more warlike advisors, however, seem intent on burning all bridges and laying waste to Pasuri lands in an effort to further advance our cause. Yeah, we're going to advance our cause, buddy, but not here. Well, at least not now. So let's maintain a benevolent image. So all of this, while we're getting a little gold and people are moving, we take a look at the area. You can see Parnia is large. They have 151 pops, so 50% more than we do. Okay, the matter of Parthia. The region of Parthia has remained a valuable source of trade and commerce for our nation for many years. Many amongst the clan council consists that of bountiful land would serve much better purpose if fully integrated under the Xanthi banner. Of course, as with all matters of state, many in opposition, claiming that a healthy relationship with our neighbors is far more important than a wanton land grab. The leaders of each side have presented their arguments and asked for arbitration as to which method would be more appropriate in our dealings with the various states resident in Parthia. Okay, so we can long for cooperation. This guy loses loyalty, or this guy loses loyalty, or we could under warlike. So we're going to go cooperation. Raises our diplomat rep a little bit, but that's not a big deal. So you can see in the area we've got Parnia, 50% of our population. Sakya has almost the same as we do, and Khwarezmiya has about 20% more people. So, but with our client states and the migratory units, we could beat them. Frankly, you could conquer this whole land and not leave if you wanted, just by raising migratory units. Okay, so now we'll go over one thing to check. We won't check it now, we'll check it later. Okay, so now we've got a little bit more money. We can move some slaves if we have any to move, right? So there's 3 in Dalba, 3, and then 2 there. Okay. So moving slave, we can move tribesmen, but it's more expensive. So now we can create another migratory unit. You can see it was 5.98 instead of 6 before. And what I've done is I've set the skirmishing tactic, and I've split the units into five unit stacks. And because of that, it's due to food. If they're too big on one tile, then they tend to lose food. Desert tiles aren't great to put them on, but since we control it, it's okay. So now, protect the weak Parthia. Rhetoric and debate have raged for a full year. The clan council has reached a final status. Drawing a sharp breath, the herald recites, protect the weak of Parthia. So this means war cost is down, improve opinion up, and then Diplo rep is up for, looks like 20 years. So that's fine. We're not going to be here. We might be back in 20 years, but who knows? So back to our government. Let's see. Is he still siphoning funds? Yes. And he needs the money because he doesn't have a lot. Okay, so I'll let him keep doing that. We can move more pops here. I don't know if there are any slaves, but it doesn't matter. So Kanga and Sarik, I want to release them. Not really focused on moving people from there. So I'll move from Ocean. There's a Dalba guy, Kraz guy, Kachak, Manga, and Bella. Don't really want to move. Tribal Chief offers friendship. We have received the envoy, Tribal Chief Kriptane the First, Kazuka, ruler of our subject, Balkan. He offers our ruler, Tribal Chief Satyake Kadota, his personal friendship. Strengthening our connection with our subject could have its benefits. Yeah, it could be useful. So let's be friends. Why not? You're our buddy. So now I've got enough money. So I ran out of money. So I moved all of them. So now we have 12 of 22 there. We're slowly bringing it. A feud. 2 of our tribesmen have come forward today to ask for help settling ownership over a gold goblet they found. They found it? No, I think they stole it. Irawata Vaide believes it belongs to him as he was the one to find it, whereas Upatise Vaide says it belongs to her as it was discovered on her land. You guys are the same clan. Why are you fighting? So with this choice, you can choose between giving loyalty to each. He's a clan chief, and she is not. So it might be useful to give it to him so it maintains it. But, however, the last 2 options, you gain tyranny and gold, or it goes to the gods. So I want the gold because I want to leave this place fast. So, and I can't do that if I don't have money to move people. So let's do that. The stability would have been nice. Maybe it's a better option. But I want money right now. So, because now I can just move all of these people. Alright. Then Cross and Dalva. Alright. Okay. So now we've got 24 there. We can form another migratory unit. Bam. Okay. We'll set him to skirmishing. Split the unit. And then send it out into the different areas. So we're getting pretty close to being able to move. So it should be interesting. Okay, so Yacha. Okay, view pops. So we're going to start. We got Bella, Kanga, and Sarik. Bella, Kanga, Sarik. We can, frankly, you could leave those pops there. You really don't need them. And what we're focused on is, you can see here, Dalba. We've got a Freeman. We'll pause for a second. You can see it's demoting. So June 453, he demotes. And then August 453, he promotes. Now you would think, once he demotes to be a slave, then the promotion, because slave promotion is not allowed, wouldn't happen. However, the way the game is set up is it will demote and then promote him. So if you don't move the slave in that interval between June and August, then you will not be able to move him at all. So let's check out the dates. So that's June. This one is happening in January. So we'll check that out. He's being demoted to a Freeman. He's been demoted to a Freeman. We can't move him or him. This guy we can move in January, and this guy in December, and then this in May. So December, we should check it out. Okay, so now it's December. Let's see if we can move somebody. Yeah, well, I don't see any of those places. Let's keep going. So it's January. So a guy should pop up here. And there's no pop-up. What about February? Once again, no pop-up. Okay. Go back to Yacha. Let's try to open it up again. There they go. So one from Ocean, one from Kras. Okay. So Dalba, he's still, I think it was May. That's a citizen, 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 and there's a bunch in Bella. So let's move all those pops from Bella. There we go. Okay, we got 9 pops in our home territory. Steadily rising, the stability. And then April went by. Let's see if there's somebody else to move. No. It's May. That may have been the date. Nope. So we'll just wait month to month. June. Nope. So we got a bunch of citizens demoting into Freeman. So we can't move Freeman, so that's why it might take some time. Now this is probably pretty tedious. If you want to just jump into the game and start conquering people, play Rome. So Dalba has been depopulated. Good. So somebody moved out of there. We didn't do that. And that'll happen. If there's just one pop and the pop is migrating, he will migrate out and depopulate an area. So you have to be careful sometimes. So let's see. Aha! Alright, so Zatra, now we can decolonize. Moving the last pop from a territory will leave it uncolonized. So we've done that, that's one. And then we do it again another place. So now we go back here and you can see now these guys are on desert that we don't own. And if you go here, they are taking attrition. So we are just going to start moving them. Why not? They're going to go through desert anyway. You can see the Antigonids and Seleucids, they're all fighting. That's great. So where are we going to go? I think that now that we've done this, it's a good time to take a break. And we'll continue with the next episode. So as I let you go, here's some. I think that'll be it. So So thanks.